And now we interrupt your regular viewing program to bring you these news items.
Hello and welcome to Shifty Crab News Break, bringing you just a pinch of the week's gaming news and discussing all the games we can't wait to get our claws on. I am Terry Jeffs, and today I am joined by, he's still hunting for a PlayStation 5 it seems, it's Adam Berry.
How are we doing, Terry?
I'm good. How's the PlayStation 5 hunt going today? Any updates?
This close. I had it in my hands and it was taken away from me. No, I did not get one today. Move on.
Still no luck. Well, in today's show, we are going to be discussing a bunch of exciting news, including Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart's release date announced, stolen CD Projekt Red's files selling on the dark web, PS5 DualShock controller drift lawsuits, and GTA 5 just will not stop selling, and a lot more to discuss. But first of all, HBO's The Last of Us series has officially cast the characters of Joel and Ellie. This news story is over at Variety.com by Joe Otterson. The upcoming The Last of Us series adaptation at HBO has cast Pedro Pascal as Joel and Bella Ramsey in the role of Ellie, Variety has confirmed. Neil Druckmann, a writer and creative director for The Last of Us video game and co-creator of the series, confirmed the news about Pascal on Twitter, writing, "And there's the other half. Stoked to have Pedro on aboard our show." Pascal has seen great success as the star of Disney Plus The Mandalorian. He also recently appeared alongside Gal Gadot and Kristen Wiig. Is it Kristen Wiig? Wiig. As the villainous Maxwell Lord in Wonder Woman 1984. I still haven't seen that. Ramsey is best known for her role as Lyanna Mormont in fellow HBO series Game of Thrones. The character Ellie is a 14-year-old orphan who has... we know all this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to jump to what you thought on this casting, Adam.
I'm happy with it. I hadn't really thought of Pedro Pascal as playing Joel. In my head,
yeah,
I was throwing it around. It was very, very difficult to think of anyone but Troy Baker doing that voice. You know, the voice is synonymous with Joel. And it's very hard to imagine anyone else, really. But when I was thinking, you're thinking, I wonder who it could be. And I know a few names have been put about, like Hugh Jackman at one point had been mentioned, you know, because especially in the film Logan, he similar sort of role, basically, the lone cowboy, you know, grizzly, has a bit of a pessimistic look on the world. And that was the sort of thought process has gone. But do you know what? He's a brilliant actor, and I think he'll do a really good job as Joel. I think he'll be fantastic.
Yeah, I think he'd be great. Yeah, same thing. Not the first person you think of for if you're casting Joel, but this is always the way these castings go. And I think that's obviously a talent of a casting director. Like, that's what they do. It's so funny to see people online like kicking off about castings, and there have been about these two, like, because they don't look exactly like the character, and why didn't you cast this guy, because look at this photo. Like, that's not how casting works. Casting isn't if you looked identical to that character. It's just the way they want to go with it. Depends on what your acting chops are, like, what depends on what. There's just so many variables to it, way more than what they actually look like.
And I'd say, especially with Joel and Ellie, they are just basic middle-aged white man, young white girl. There's nothing about their look that is descriptive, and you could change anything about them. It's different if it's a superhero film. You care a lot about the costume. You care about how they look in the costumes and stuff like that. Totally get that. these are just two people where the way they look has nothing to do with their character.
No.
It's all about who they are as people. And I think that Bella Ramsey, especially in Game of Thrones, did a really good job with the time she was given.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it would be
She was
great
a
to see.
standout for sure.
Yeah, it would be great to see what she can do with Ellie, because they have that similarity of that stubbornness and that not willing to give up. And I think she's going to do a great job. I can't wait to see how she does it. It'll be interesting to see how she is accent wise and stuff like that, how that sounds. But yeah, I think it's a great start to this cast. Like,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
it'd be interesting to see who they have around them.
Well, to go back, if people, obviously everyone knows, I assume everyone knows, the Last of Us games and the story, but for people that are kind of new to this news on the actual series, just want to go a little bit further into the article here. So the Last of Us series was first announced as being in development at the premium cabler back in March, HBO, with the show landing a formal series order in November. Based on the video game of the same name, the series takes place 20 years after modern civilization has been destroyed. Joel, a hardened survivor, is hired to smuggle Ellie out of an oppressive quarantine zone. What starts as a small job soon becomes a brutal, heartbreaking journey, as they both must traverse across the US and depend on each other for survival. Chernobyl creator Craig Mazin is attached to write and executive produce the series along with Druckmann. Caroline Strauss will also executive produce along with Evan Wells, president of game development studio Naughty Dog. PlayStation Productions Assad Quizelbash and Carter Swan will also executive produce, and Kantemir Balagov is set to direct the pilot. The project is a co-production with Sony Pictures Television. PlayStation Productions, World Games, and Naughty Dog produce. The project is the first television series from PlayStation Productions. In addition to her scene-stealing role in Game of Thrones, Ramsey also appeared in the HBO BBC One series adaptation of His Dark Materials. Her other TV credits include voicing the lead character in animated series Hilda, as well as starring in The Worst Witch. Her feature credits include Holmes and Watson, Judy, and Resistance. And it says here, The Last of Us was originally released in 2013, strong critical praise, blah, blah, blah. So they seem to be doing, like, this is the thing with this series. This is not, I would argue, this is not the series everyone was asking for. I don't think there was anyone out there screaming for we need to make this, the games are fantastic, they're perfect. I don't think anyone was kind of crying out for a film adaptation of this or a TV series adaptation of this. Nevertheless, they're doing it, and they seem to be just making all the right moves. They've got some really great directors in, some great writers in.
Yeah.
Obviously, Druckmann's on board to make sure that the ship's been steered in the right direction. The casting is now confirmed to be great. We're on to a good one.
I think so. And I think that's the worry was, obviously, when you had The Last of Us Part 2, and the DLC and stuff like that. It's all been near perfect. It's all been very high scores, very high quality. The games themselves don't really have they're a bit controversial, I guess, but most people are quite behind it. It has great scores and is loved. Like, it has a huge fan base. So whenever you put it on the table and say, okay, we're going to do this, it's going to be judged by a different audience. And that's a bit tentative. You're like, oh, okay. Like, okay, well, be careful with this. But you're bang on. One, it's HBO. So they're going to put money into it. So it's going to look good.
Yeah.
It's gonna look pretty good.
It's gonna have that production value there. That's what you want, don't you?
Yeah, and PlayStation need to come out. Obviously, they're going to want this to go well because it's the first one from PlayStation Studios for the TV. And obviously, I think there's a few more that were sort of rumored to be following. And obviously, you've got the Uncharted film coming out. Well, that's been delayed to next year. So they've got they're using all of their big flagship games. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on this. But so far, so good. The next thing is obviously what do the clickers look like?
Mm.
They're a big part of the game, and the music, I think, are massive parts of this,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
be interesting to see how they do with that. And yeah, I'm excited for this. Though
It's gonna
I'll
be
be too
good.
scared. I think I'll be too scared to watch it, but I am excited for it. I'll have to watch it in the daytime though.
I think if you played for it, I think there's pretty good chance you'll watch it.
Well,
I don't think
I'll
it
have to
can.
watch it.
Don't think the same can be said for vice versa. But
No.
yeah, it's no, it's exciting times. I love anything that HBO does because you just know with an HBO production that they're going to go all out. It's
Yeah.
going to have that quality there. So yeah, I mean, as soon as this was announced as an HBO production, I was like, oh, okay, I'm on board. And then again with the Chernobyl links and stuff like that. I mean, Chernobyl was a fantastic. Did you watch that, Adam?
I didn't, but I do want to, and I from what I've heard, it's right up my street. I
Yeah.
think things just got in the way, and there's such a backlog of things to watch. I will get to it.
It is fantastic. I really highly recommend it. Very dark, and you can definitely, after watching that, you can see the links to this. Obviously, you know, Chernobyl, the way that it is now, you can very much compare that to the setting of The Last of Us. But it's yeah, it's sounded good. Very excited for it. Yeah, moving on to our next piece of news, we're going to kind of carry on from a topic we were talking about the other day with CD Projekt Red, with their files being stolen. So got a bit of an update on that today. So this is from IGN.com, and this is stolen CD Projekt Red files reportedly now sold after dark web auction. This is from Joe Screbbles. So yeah, so files stolen from CD Projekt Red in a ransomware attack revealed earlier this week have now reported been stolen in a dark web auction. Been sold in a dark web auction, sorry. Dark web monitoring organization Keeler, which previously provided The Verge with what it believes to be legitimate file lists from CD Projekt Red's engine, reports an auction set up to sell the files has now been closed after a satisfying offer was made from outside of the forum it was being held on. That offer reportedly stipulates that the code will not be distributed or sold further. Cybersecurity account VX Underground has also reported that it had heard the sale was completed. Further on here, it says, speaking to IGN, Victoria Vivelkovic, a threat intelligence analyst at Keeler, explained that it appears all of the files stolen, which apparently include source code for Cyberpunk 2077, multiple versions of The Witcher 3 and Gwent, were sold in a single package. It's unclear who the buyer is or what they intend to do with the files at time of writing. It's also unclear what price the files were sold for, but reports yesterday indicated an upfront purchase price of $7 million. Vivelovic provided IGN with a translated screenshot of a separate forum, XSS, dated February 10th, in which the purported seller, Red Engine, says CD Projekt Red should pay the Blitz upfront purchase fee because of sensitive data contained in the files. Of course, right now, we can't verify whether that is true. CD Projekt publicly said that it would not pay any ransom. So it goes on a little bit further as well in the article, more in depth about the forum that it was sold on. But yeah, this is $7 million, Adam. What could possibly be in this file that this buyer's paid for?
Well, it's difficult, isn't it? Like, obviously, it has the source code for the engine as well. So, but they can't really do much with that if
Yeah.
it's not allowed to be sold on to anything else, unless they were making a game, like, which it'd be very easy to work out that they were the ones that bought it. So I don't understand what they're doing. I know there's personal information in there, so that's a worry, obviously, and people pay a lot for that because there'll be quite in-depth information in there, I presume. I believe that's what they. I think there was personal information in there, wasn't there? I think.
Yeah, I think so. They did say they
sensitive data contained in the files. Yeah.
Yeah, CD Projekt Red put out a statement saying, like, you know, any previous employees should just kind of like be aware that this has happened, like, and change things. But yeah,
I just don't understand who would buy this.
For that amount. Like, I mean,
Oh.
what do they know that we don't? Like, yeah, as you say, they're buying the source code for the game, but really, what can you do with that? What can you do with that legally? And
Exactly.
is it worth that amount? Can you get any profit out of this? I don't really understand.
Yeah, and it's a game that's already out. And
Yeah.
and also Witcher 3, which came out, I don't know, what, 7 years ago, 10 years, I don't know, something like that. It was a while ago, Witcher 3. And Gwent, like, I don't think any of that is worth 7 million. Like, I don't, it's not like you could leak the game online, like, or anything like that. This is part of me thinks that I know CD Projekt Red said they wouldn't buy it, like wouldn't buy it. They came out publicly and said they wouldn't pay the ransom, but maybe
Yeah.
part of me thinks if I put my conspiracy hat on, that maybe they have paid the ransom because it's got public, because it's got personal information in, and they've taken.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have paid it, because I can't understand why anyone else would want it.
I don't know, but it's still. It's just, it's just every news break we do, we have a new story on this, and I can't, taking everything aside with what happened with the launch, like I just like progressively feel worse and worse for it. You just goes from bad
They're
to
not
worse.
having a good year.
No,
Yeah.
it's really not good, and I really just feel for everyone there, like the people that have had no say on the launch or anything like that. Just these developers that were really passionate about this amazing project that was being made, and how this is just kind of shat on everything. It's just it's just like a bad dream. But there you go. But yeah, moving on. PlayStation 5 DualSense controller drift. US law firm investigating class action lawsuit. This story is from IGN.com by Joe Scribbles. A US law firm, oh my God, I can't speak today. I don't know what's going on. A US law firm that has already filed a class action lawsuit against Nintendo for Joy-Con drift is now investigating a similar case against Sony, alleging analog stick drift in the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller. Chemicals Schwartz Kreiner and Donaldson Smith LLP has set up a questionnaire page asking for PlayStation 5 owners to report instances of drift in which the console registers stick input, even if the controller isn't being touched. KSK&D is investigating a potential class action based upon reports that Sony PS5 DualSense controllers for the PlayStation 5 console can experience drift issues and or fail prematurely, reads the page introduction. Specifically, it is reported that the joystick on certain PS5 DualSense controllers will automatically register movement when the joystick is not being controlled and interfere with gameplay. Reports have begun to emerge around alleged drift on PS5 DualSense controllers in recent days, although it's not clear how widespread an issue it is at this point. CSK&D's questionnaire is likely an effort to find out just that before embarking on any formal legal proceedings. So it goes. Then the article then goes on to say about the lawsuit that it is opened up with Nintendo, which you and Vince discussed in detail previously.
Yes.
So I don't know as much about that. So how widespread is that Nintendo issue compared to with what's going on here?
So the Nintendo one has obviously been going around since the Switch's launch, and basically they've done nothing about it. And that was what the issue was, is that Nintendo are profiting off faulty equipment, and they're not doing anything to change that. So they're selling a faulty product knowingly. So it's slightly different because Sony have already replaced some DualShocks. People have been able to request them, and they have replaced some faulty DualShocks. That was mainly for the haptics, but it has also been for the analog stick as well, looking into some other sites about this. And if you read further on in this article, it does say that Sony are potentially looking at improved DualShock. And you imagine that they will replace people that have put in the requests. You would think Sony are usually pretty good with that stuff. But yeah, it's the same company that's doing it. Basically, it's saying that Sony are selling knowingly faulty equipment. And that technically is a violation of trading standards. and that's where the legal standpoint is coming through. Now, there's more of an argument, obviously, for Nintendo because they've been doing this since the Switch launched and they haven't done anything about it. Sony's still in its launch window, so there might be it might be more difficult for any sort of legal ramifications to fall on Sony because they've still got time to respond and stuff like this. So realistically, I can't imagine there will be any legal ramifications for Sony. More likely to be Nintendo, and the law firm that's actually doing this one is the US law firm. The one that me and Vince actually covered is the European one, but
right, okay.
it's the same argument.
Yeah. They've
but
smelt
it's
blood
just-
in the water, like with what happened with Nintendo, and they think, oh, hang on a minute, what's going on here? And
exactly, and there's
investigated
a lot-
further.
Yeah, and sorry to our American friends, but obviously America does have a suing nature at times. It's very like, you know, there's a lot of suing going on in America. It's a lot
And counter-suing.
Counter-suing. It's a lot rarer than it is over in the UK, especially, but Europe as a whole. So it's harder to do that over here. I'm sure it's much easier to do that in America.
Yeah.
So I don't know really the legal ramifications there, but from what I have seen, I feel like Sony might have a little bit more grace, saving grace here, and they have already replaced a few that have been faulty. And it should be noted that it's also a very small number, so they were still trying to isolate whether it came from one batch.
Right.
Batch. So it's not millions and millions of controllers. It's still a smaller number, but large enough to be noticed.
Yeah.
So we have to. Well, I think there'll be more on this as the weeks go on, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I was actually interested to talk about this is because I've been having problem with my DualSense, which I had spoken to you about previously.
Yeah.
But slightly different case than this, because it's not the drift on the analog stick. It is, as you mentioned, the haptic feedbacks on the trigger buttons. And it was a problem that I started to notice a little bit early on after purchasing the console, but now it's got to the point playing Demon Souls where it's getting to the point where it's unplayable because the right trigger, which obviously you're going to be using the majority of the time in games, has lost its resistance. And I know this is something that apparently is quite common in DualShocks. Like it happens on the DualShock 4, it's happened on the DualShock 3 a lot of the time, but it's never really had that much of an impact. But now with the games that you're playing, the resistance is pretty much almost gone on the R2 button. So particularly playing a game like Demon Souls, I noticed it because I was on R2 with Demon Souls. If you press R2, you go in for this kind of spearing, like kind of jab. And the slightest of touches to the R2 button, I'm like my fingers brushed it, and my character starts jabbing it, and that can be in Demon Souls. That can be make or break. You know what I mean? Because not only like during a battle, but if you're talking to a vendor or something like that, you can just kill a vendor and they don't come back. So I was like, okay, this is not good. So yeah, I started looking into repairs and replacements and stuff. And yeah, I think Sony are repairing them, but from what I've heard, you have to, I looked into it on the website, you have to call them, you have to go through this thing where you have to wait on the helpline, and then I've heard that they will repair it free of charge and send it back free of charge, but I think you have to pay for the postage, which I'm not liking the sound of, because this is you know, to send it, because this is not my problem. And you know, I mean, I've just bought this console and I'm interested to see, obviously Googling it, there are some other people that are having the same problems, but I'm interested to see how widespread this is going to become, because the DualSense is an amazing controller, and the haptic feedback is absolutely amazing. But I wonder how bad, you know, if this technology is going to be faulty going forward, or if they're going to have to make changes with the next batches going out.
Yeah, it's a worry, obviously, because it's a new console. The haptic feedback's the big thing, really. This controller, and and it's having a detrimental effect, obviously, on your controller, like, and it's now becoming a real problem. It's a bit shitty of them if they're going to make you pay to send it back if it's faulty.
Yeah, that's not on.
No, it's not, and I'm sure if you complain enough, you get around that.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't have to. That's the problem.
I think it's bad enough just like going without the control, like, because for those people that don't know, you can't play PlayStation 5 games with a DualShock 4. You can connect your DualShock 4 to your PS5 and play the PS4 library, but yeah, so I don't know what the turnaround's going to be to get that back. It could be weeks. In those weeks, I'm not going to be able to play any PS5 games. Well, I've bought the console for. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit wrong for them to. There should be some kind of conversation there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, but that's the bad bit of news for PlayStation 5. The good bit of news is that we've got Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart release date announced today, which is coming out in June 2021. This is from Eurogamer, and Wesley Yin Paul is reporting. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart launches on PlayStation 5 on 11th of June 2021, priced £69.99 in the UK. Developer Insomniac has announced. Insomniac describes the game as a brand new full-length adventure. The trailer, which they released today, shows
good.
It looks really good, and you know, as a Ratchet and Clank fan, I'm very excited. So here's the official blurb on the story. When the evil Dr. Nefarious uses a device that can access alternate dimensions to find a galaxy where he always wins, Ratchet and Clank are separated. As they try to reunite, they will meet a new Lombax resistant fighter, explore new and familiar locales, but with new dimensional twists, and wield a whole new arsenal of out-of-this-world weapons. Pre-order bonuses include an early unlock for the Carbonox armor from Ratchet and Clank Going Commando from 2003, updated with high-definition materials, lightning responses, and ray tracing reflections, and an early unlock for the Pixelizer weapon, the Retro Blaster from Ratchet and Clank 2016, also updated visually for the PlayStation 5 console. I absolutely love the Pixelizer weapon. Also of note, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart also has the series' first ever photo mode, which is great because the Ratchet and Clank games are always, like, for me, a benchmark of what the textures look like and stuff like that. So being able to take those perfect photos is exciting to me. But yeah, Adam, I can't remember. Do you have much experience with the Ratchet and Clank series? Does it excite you at all?
Yeah, no, like when this was first announced, it wasn't one of them where I jumped out of my seat going, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. It's been a game that when it's there, I've enjoyed it a little bit. I've never really been one to go looking for it. But I tell you what, watching the trailers for this, it looks so fun and it looks incredible. Like, for an animated game, like, it looks unbelievably good. Like, I think, like, and it looks like it'll be a hell of a lot of fun to play. And when I do eventually get a PS5, it'll be probably about the same time as this comes out at this rate. But I think it's a great summer game. It'll tide you over for a couple of weeks, and yeah, I think it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing all of the Ratchet and Clank games since the beginning. I recently played through 2016, like last year. Absolutely loved it. I've always felt like they've been underrated as a series, in that, not underrated like critically, but like they haven't had that mass appeal that I feel like they should, because I feel like Insomniac are really kind of getting their pay due now with like the Spider-Man games, and everyone's like open their eyes to what they can do as a developer. But they've always been doing it, always been pushing the PlayStation consoles to the limits graphically. I feel like they were always like the benchmark. I remember when Ratchet and Clank, the reboot, came out on the PlayStation 3. I feel that was the first game I was like, oh my God, like this is like Pixar quality visuals, you know, like, and it's, yeah, I just love them. And I think like for anyone new to the series, like, I don't think they should come expecting, I don't know, like amazing like gameplay platform and stuff like that, because it's not that. It's just a fun game, and they find that right balance between a game that's fun for kids, but also like fun for adults as well. They just kind of get that right in the middle. And the weapons is so inventive and fun and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this when it drops in the summer. Yeah, I mean it's going to be good. But what they're doing, the main reason I'm excited is what they're doing with the next gen technology. I mean, they are the first game that I'm seeing that's really pushing these zero load times into new game development. Like what they're doing with it, with the rifts opening and just going from one world straight to the other. That's stuff that could not be done on last gen, and they're doing it first, and it's great. And I just want to see what that can be like, and just kind of give us a glimpse to what we've got in store for us for the rest of the generation.
Definitely it looks it's so impressive what they're doing, especially with the dimensional stuff. I can't wait to see what they do with it.
But let's talk about a game that we've already had, and we've had it for a long time. GTA 5 has sold more than 140 million copies. This article is by Kevin Nezovic at GameSpot. Grand Theft Auto 5 continues to be a huge success for Rockstar and publisher Take-Two. During its latest financial earnings call, Take-Two revealed that GTA 5 has now sold more than 140 million copies, a number that will likely only continue to grow when the game comes to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X later this year. It's just absolutely mental when you think about it. Despite being more than 7 years old at this point, 2020 was GTA 5's single best year since launch. Take-Two said more copies of Grand Theft Auto 5 were sold last year than any other year since 2013, when the title first launched on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Recurrent consumer spending, Take-Two's terminology for in-game purchases for Grand Theft Auto Online grew 28% year over year, outperforming the company's third quarter forecast. Grand Theft Auto 5 continues to receive a regular stream of updates in its GTA Online mode. Back in December, Rockstar rolled out the big Cayo Perico heist update, which introduced the titular heist as well as a new island location, a new nightclub, new vehicles and weapons, and more. GTA Online is undoubtedly a big reason for GTA 5's continued success. According to Take-Two, the online mode had more players in every month for the entirety of calendar 2020 than in any other year since its launch. Take-Two said last year also marked Grand Theft Auto Online's highest participation rate ever by both new players and reactivated players. Rockstar will be releasing a standalone version of Grand Theft Auto Online later this year on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. There's just no end to this game.
No, it's a monster. And what I find hilarious is when you look at the top selling games of the month and stuff like that in the week, like GTA is not in there as much anymore. But the only reason it's not in there as much anymore is because Rockstar and Steam and all of these don't count the money spent in the game. So all otherwise it'd be at the top every single week. Like, it is an absolute juggernaut when it comes to retention, when it comes to, because last year they released the casino heists, so a whole new casino, which really boosted it. And then with the Cayo Perico heists, they a new island that people could explore. And the big thing about this one is you could do it single player. So it's the first heist you could do entirely on your own.
Yeah, that's cool.
So a lot of people were really interested in going in there, and you needed to have a bit of money to do it. But they've pushed out, and you kind of get the sense, me personally, that these are the last big pushes for it. Because I feel like they're now going to start to maybe do one more this year, and then I think they'll kind of be saving it, because obviously they'll probably release another one when they release GTA for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I think there'll be another big online update for that one, and then I think that will kind of be it, because they can ride their coattails off the money that they'll make from people playing it on that game.
Look,
so
I love GTA 5 as much as the next guy. It's one of my favorite games of all time. The Grand Theft Auto series is one of my favorite series of all time.
Yeah,
amazing. But stop buying this game, people. Stop buying it, or we're never going to get a GTA 6. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Why they're never going to rush out to make GTA 6 if we keep buying this game? No, all joking aside, when this comes out on the PS5, of course I'm going to buy it. Come on. Like, I want to play this game to its full potential. Have you seen this game on the PC? Are you kidding me right now?
Oh yeah, I will do. I've bought it on every generation it's been on, and I'll do it again. The only thing that fills me with hope, and it is, they spent a lot of money making GTA, but obviously they have made a lot of money. Imagine if they just put 25% of the money they've made into GTA 6. It would be, I think, it would triple the price. I was reading this somewhere, and my numbers might be slightly off. If they put 25% of the money they've made on GTA 6, it would be triple the price of all the other GTAs added together, the cost that it costs to make. Like, it is a ridiculous number that they've made. And I'm not surprised by this, but
Rockstar don't really spare any expense anyway, like with their development, but I don't think they've ever been in a position like this when, financially developing a game. Like, they literally, the sky's the limit of what they want to spend on this game. And it's just like with GTA 6, but I can't imagine what any more money could possibly do like to that. How could they improve on it? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they just go all out anyway. So, but
GTA VR.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's the next one, isn't it?
Maybe, like, as we discussed before, like the AI technology, maybe they're investing a lot more into that. Like, could be greatly improved in some way. But yeah, I mean, the sky really is the limit for the next installment. But I just hope we see it one day.
I think we'll see.
Not this year. Not this year.
I think we'll see a trailer this
year,
guys.
Not a chance in hell.
If you've watched the podcast, you'll know that I think it will appear this year.
Although, here's an idea, literally just popped into my head. So with the next gen versions, they can have a little tweak around. They could like sneakily add some little things in the map. There may be some Easter eggs added in with like little clues to like the next game, the next locale. People are going to be scouring the whole of like Los Santos again to try and find any clues possibly.
There is a rumor, sorry to go off base just a little bit here. There is a rumor that when they release the online version and the single player version, actually, but it's the online version, sorry, on PS5 and Xbox, the construction site will be finished being built.
That's not really true, is it?
I've heard a rumor. Like now, a rumor's a rumor. You take it with a pinch of salt. That apparently the thing is for the construction site, because that's the thing everyone jokes about. They go, all these new buildings, but the construction site's never been built. Apparently, it will be. And now imagine this. Picture this: the construction site's built. This new skyscraper, because it's clearly going to be a skyscraper, and there's a billboard or one of those like neon signs around the top, and it's just a date of the announcement. GTA 6. It's going around. Hype. That's it. That's the level.
I want to see something like that though, like the similar way to like what Fortnite does, where you're literally seeing things happen live, the events that happens in game. There's no reason like we can't see something on a electronic screen billboard, like just teasing something. Like, imagine if that happened like in GTA Online, like the world would just lose their mind. But I don't know, they can do whatever they want. The world's their oyster. They can just do whatever they want. On to our next story. Tales from the Borderlands returns to digital storefronts in February. This article is from Polygon by Nicole Carpenter. Following developer Telltale Games' studio closure in 2018, Tales from the Borderlands and other games by Telltale were delisted from digital storefronts. One of Telltale's most popular games, Tales from the Borderlands, is an episodic narrative game in the style of a comic book set in the Borderlands universe between the stories of Borderlands 2 and Borderlands 3. To the delight of its fans, the game will return to digital storefronts on February 17th. Borderlands developer Gearbox tweeted on Wednesday. Following the sudden studio closure, Telltale Games had most of its games delisted from storefronts, and the developer ceased work on its unfinished Walking Dead game. Skybound Entertainment, started by the Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman, took over development of that title in 2018. The Walking Dead: The Final Season was released in 2019. Tales from the Borderlands was officially delisted from Good Old Games in May 2019. The 5 episodes are no longer available for purchase online, but were accessible via disc as of 2016. Quote, Tales of the Borderlands returns to storefronts February 17th, reads a tweet from the Borderlands Twitter account. Set between Borderlands 2 and 3, Tales from the Borderlands follows the stories of Reese, a Hyperion suit, and Fiona, a con artist, on a quest born of greed but destined for greatness. So, yeah, I mean, I wanted to talk about this because only recently I started jumping on board all of the Telltale games, and I don't know the state of what some of those were with those getting taken off, but at the time that I downloaded them, they were all there. I played through Walking Dead Season 1, Batman Season 1, Season 2, and I think that was it. But I did download Tales from the Borderlands, although I didn't try to play it, so it probably wasn't available. But for someone that hasn't played the series, I'm quite interested to jump on this. I don't know if you've played any of them before, Adam, or if you played this one at all.
So I've played a little bit of Borderlands, but to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of looter shooters. Okay. I don't like sitting there comparing the stats too much of which gun's better for which and which. Like, I don't mind it, but so I've always tried, and I've always kind of just fallen away from it and left it, and then eventually deleted it because it's taken up too much memory. But the good thing about the Tales from the Borderlands is you don't need to know much about Borderlands.
Yeah. So
this is something that I will play because I enjoy the Telltale games, and I do enjoy the characters from Borderlands. So I think that this is more up my alley. It's more narrative, more of a story. I like the way Telltale do things. So I'm all over this. I'll definitely be playing this.
Yeah, because this really surprised me when it first came out, because I remember when they announced it, I was like, really? You're going to do a Telltale game about Borderlands? Like, what? Which is a shooter. That's what everyone plays it for. It's a looter shooter. But everyone was just raving about the story and how funny it was and stuff like that. So yeah, as you said, you don't need any prior knowledge to the series. So I really enjoyed the Telltale game. So I probably will jump on this at some point, which may then make me play through the Borderlands series, which I never played. I only played a bit of the first one when it came out, but I actually do quite enjoy looter games. I love the Diablo games, so I quite like that, just mindless, just collecting stuff as you go and just comparing the weapons and stuff. So I just think it's good that we're getting these back on there, because it was a sad thing to see what happened to the studio of Telltale and just all of their work just kind of gone from the stores overnight. And it's nice to be able to get that stuff back, because that's the stuff obviously we always worry about in the digital age, when things get taken off the store. So it's good to see that back and able to play it for fans of the series. And moving to our final story, and speaking of fans of series, as a huge Sonic fan, I was really pleased to see this go up on Twitter yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. So Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2, has been announced, and the trailer has been announced on the official Twitter account. So a short video shared on the film's official Twitter account revealed the title, the somewhat predictable, unimaginative, but nonetheless brilliantly evocative Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So yeah, on their official account, they put groundbreaking, thought-provoking, extremely obvious, presenting the official title of the Sonic movie sequel, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Catch the Sonic the Hedgehog movie 2 in theaters in 2022. And what we see is like a little intro video showing the logo with the 2 and in the color of tails, the 2 tails on the end. So I mean, yeah, I'm hyped for this. Adam, did you watch the Sonic movie?
I did. I watched it over Christmas, and yeah, it was all right. I'd gone in a little like you never know, like it's like, oh, is
Trepidatious.
this
Yeah, I did.
but
I did.
I thought it was really good. No, well, it was good. It was easy to watch. Sonic was quite fun in it. I think they did Sonic in a really good way. And yeah, I thought obviously there was the controversy of how he did look, and then when they changed it and it was much better. That I have the only thing that I do have trepidation with is that studio's now closed down, who did the redesigning of Sonic.
Yeah.
So they shut down pretty much straight away after they did this.
Yeah.
So I don't know how heavily they were involved in once they've done the design on actually implementing that in the film. Hopefully it's not going to affect it too much. But yeah, I thought it was really good. I liked in this trailer as well that you could hear the Emerald Hill Zone music as well. Like that was a really good touch. And funnily enough, I didn't know there was an post-credit scene in Sonic.
Yes. Yeah.
So I had to when I saw this, I had to the links to the end of post-credit scene. I was just like, oh, okay, that's cool. Not going to spoil it, but you can kind of tell from the title.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you know what? I'll watch it when it comes on to some sort of demand service like Sky for us. I think it'll probably come onto on Netflix, and I'll enjoy it. It's a good Sunday afternoon film.
Yeah, I mean, we took the kids to go see the first film, which I'm pretty sure was the last film we all saw at the cinema together. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it because I went into it thinking, because obviously, yeah, there was a bit of development hell with the original design of Sonic was just terrible. I mean, it was terrible. I don't know what they were thinking, and literally credit to the team to make that turnaround that they did. And change the design of Sonic to what is Sonic. You know, that's what Sonic looks like. It looks great. But yeah, I went into even with that going into the film, I was a bit like, I'm prepared for the worst here, and I was pleasantly surprised that it was just a fun film. It's a good film, and I thought Jim Carrey was great in it. I always joke about like a Sonic movie coming out starring Jim Carrey, like how is this not 1994? You know, like you know this why did this happen like 15 years like ever too late? But actually it'd be a lot longer than that, wouldn't it? Be like 25 years. But anyway, it's I'm pleased to see this. I'm always pleased to see the title of one of my favorite games of all time, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So yeah, exactly. So I'm excited to see what they do with it, and hopefully once the world's back to normal, we get to go see this in cinemas again.
That'd be good. That's a dream. That is the dream, to be able to go to the cinema again.
We shall see indeed. But yeah, that is the end of today's show. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I have been Terry. This has been Adam. And we will be joining you again on Monday for another news break. Before that, we should be bringing you a new podcast on Sunday, episode 3 of our podcast, which I'm really excited for. So, another debate to get into, and all that goodness, all the games we've been playing, and many other stuff. So, until then, we shall see you next time.
See you later.
See you later.